Please welcome to the stage ASHE 2023 President, Dr. Ana M. Martínez-Aleman.
I finally get the voice of God to introduce me, so I'm very happy at this very moment. Of the many responsibilities that one has as ASHE president, I would be remiss to say that those responsibilities come with lots of joys. I'm currently at a Jesuit institution, and I'm always sort of, it tickles me that I very much appreciate how they remind me that one has to seek joy in life and to do the things that bring you joy. And I do think that these honors that we give today bring us all joy in a variety of different ways. In particular, as president, we get the joy of giving the Presidential Medal. And when I was thinking about this, I said, well, okay, you've got this very alliterative theme that everybody teases you about, politics, purposes, and practices. And I, quite frankly, didn't take long to think about the fact that along with the goals of higher education research and those politics and practices and purposes, I really didn't have to look much further than the Center for Urban Education at USC. It was founded 24 years ago to teach faculty, to teach legislators, practitioners, to learn to use data, to engage in inquiry and self-reflection in order to identify and recognize structural inequities in higher education practices, whether they be curricular, pedagogical, or state systems' entrenched racial barriers to access or promotion and tenure practices. The Center for Urban Education has set the standard for fusing research and practice in order to enact racial equity, a move that required racial equity to be transformed from, quite frankly, a very abstract ideal to actionable purpose and practice. It is with great pleasure that tonight I award the Presidential Medal to all of CUE's, the Center for Urban Education's, many, many scholars and researchers and faculty and students and practitioners, and those of us who really benefited from all of their work, and we all have. They have advanced equity through the decades in higher education in a way that has benefited many, many students, many, many faculty, and many, many systems of education. And so tonight, I want us to honor the Center for Urban Education at USC and ask the founding director and former ASHE president, Estela Bensimon, to accept on their behalf.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here, and congratulations to all my co-award recipients. And I also want to thank Jason. This has been an incredibly smooth conference, and I think that we owe him a lot of gratitude for that. And I've been coming to ASHE since 1983, 82. And we had lots of bumps in the previous conferences. So Jason, thank you for working miracles. Yesterday, when Ana Martínez-Aleman gave her presidential address, which if you did not hear it, I highly recommend that you watch the video. She used a poem from Gwendolyn Brooks, and to talk about being in the front yard or in the backyard. And she used that as a metaphor to describe higher education traditional research as a front yard, and research that takes risks as the backyard, and urged us to move to the backyard. Well, that's what happened to me. In 1999, I was a full professor, and I asked myself, what good does my work do? I mean, I can study precedents, I can study promotion and tenure, but what does it change? Who does it benefit? And I recall that right after college, after I got my master's, I worked in community organizing in Newark, New Jersey, in Hoboken, Patterson, all of the urban centers in New Jersey. And the purpose of my work was to advocate for change, including bilingual education. And then I went to get my doctorate, and I got seduced by the university life. There was not much conflict, not compared to community organizing. And I became a model front yard inhabitant. I did all the things that you were expected to do until 1999, when I founded the Center for Urban Education and moved to the backyard. And that was probably one of the best things that I ever did for myself and for my career and for my sense of identity of being able to contribute to bringing about not just descriptions of leadership, but to bringing about descriptions of leadership that can be change-making. A lot of people warned me not to do it, but I founded the center, and what we became known for is creating tools that enable practitioners and leaders to ask themselves, why is it that our institution, or why is it that my course works so much better for white students than it does for Black and Latino and indigenous students? And believing that when asking themselves those questions, they would begin to bring about their own changes in their own practices. One of the things that Anna said yesterday was that when we go and look in the backyard, we will also see our neighbors, our disciplinary neighbors, and begin to draw on their knowledge. And the success of CUE is exactly that we didn't just stick to higher education scholars, but we drew from the work of Don Polkinghorne, a humanist psychologist, from the work of Robert Reda, also a psychologist who specialized in special education. And from them, we learned how to use the methods of inquiry for faculty members, presidents, and others to ask the race question of their own practices. And it has been quite successful. We worked with over 800 colleges, and even though it was work in the backyard, we still did publish in the front yard. And people said to me, why are you leading with racial equity? You're going to ruin your career. Well, you know what? For those of you who are wondering, the best part of my career, my most productive period, was when I moved to the backyard. So I urge you all to consider doing that. I want to say that CUE would not be possible without all of the young people, students mainly, who worked with me. And some of them are here tonight, but they're too shy to come up and accept this award. So I'm actually going to name them. Cheryl Ching, sitting over here. Debbie Hansen, over here. Raquel has worked with us also. Raquel Roll. It says, I don't know whether Esmeralda is here. Oh, there she is. And I don't know if I have overlooked anyone else from Q. But Q would have been impossible without this young, creative minds. And I am very grateful that I had the opportunity. I have closed Q, and I have merged it with the Center for Race and USC Center for Race and Equity that is led by my very good friend, Sean Harper. And I am so happy that the work continues under him. Thank you.